Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I am pretty good. I was doing poorly for a couple of days and I seem to be improving.
I'm
And
sorry to hear that, but I'm glad you're feeling better.
I'm prepared to summarize what the situation is with respect to this proposed change in committees.
Good, because I have been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, so there's gonna be some as you know, there's probably gonna be some adjustments to the agenda.
So I can do it. I'm up on all the emails and be very happy to with a suggestion or two as to what we do because uh, the best way to put it technically is that his proposal uh, stinks.
Yeah,
It,
so,
it would basically, well, I'll talk then about what it does, but it basically eliminates this task force, creates a new committee where we have to apply, and there are 7 members. Now, granted, we would have the upper hand because nobody, that other group isn't even involved. I don't know why he brought it up, although he might seek to do so. And the committee consisting of the mayor and 2 councilors no longer exists because we have a different mayor and different councilors. And there's Joe.
hi, Joe.
Hey,
Oh, Joe. Let me get my ears working.
how you
Always a
doing,
good
Steve?
thing. How are you, Joe?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. As I
Yeah.
was telling Stephen, I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off,
Uh-oh.
so. All good things, though, all good things.
So I talked with Philip today and he said that the reason I never got contacted by the city, after I mailed in that application like 2 months ago, emailed it, that the new mayor is trying to consolidate all the different committees.
Okay, it's not the mayor.
It's not the
It's the
mayor.
city. No, it's the city manager.
The
And
city
I will fill everybody in on that, but that's
manager.
who it is.
Okay.
And
Okay, so yeah,
in fact, I'm sorry, Joe, that we did not send to you, but he has made a proposal. Uh, and so I'll fill people in in a little bit.
So what do you think of the idea of the city manager, Steve? Do you,
Everybody in shortly.
okay,
Uh, he was sending me emails up to 5 minutes ago, so it
okay.
all comes hot off the press. But I'm also sorry. I should have realized and forwarded you Erica's, uh, communication agenda, etc. But now that's changed
I
anyway.
got it, I got it from Philip.
Oh, all right, good, good.
Yeah.
But that's changed now because of this new wrinkle.
you have to excuse me, I'm looking at 3 screens here, so.
Okay, you're looking at this one. What else are you looking at?
I'm looking at my computer and I'm looking at the big computer, the big screen, so.
Yeah, they should be the same, right?
The big screen and this screen is the same, but my brain keeps saying I have to look at both.
Can't you turn one off?
I can, but I'm afraid my brain says I'm gonna miss something, so I can't.
Okay, so your brain is the boss.
Unfortunately. Sometimes it's not always right and we argue.
I'm, I don't have that problem with my brain. We're in good shape, but other body parts are more problematic. And my day begins with the conversation with my diabetic neuropathy feet, as I try to find out when they think they're going to be capable of functioning.
Huh. You having
And
trouble with your feet?
oh yeah,
Oh,
that's why I stopped driving. I couldn't tell what was going on with the brake and the accelerator.
mm,
Yeah, no, I don't. Half the time, I don't feel anything down there, and it means that when I start walking,
yeah,
I'm going to stumble.
I see.
Uh, I may fall down, but I don't usually. And you know, so about 6:37, I say to the feed, "When are we going to be ready?" And the left foot says, "I don't know, 8:30 or 9." Right foot says, "You're crazy. You're on your own. I'm not doing something that early."
Well, it's 7
So,
o'clock. I'm gonna give people maybe 3 more minutes.
Right.
well,
The only person I heard,
we don't
no,
have a just you and me.
no, the only person I heard from that was not attending was Chip.
Right. And Phil will be here because he's been giving us the minutes in our proposed letter and all that. But it's still not a quorum. I'm hoping
No.
Brooke shows up.
What's a quorum?
Oh, here's Philip.
4.
For?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we can talk among ourselves and then can't make any in, you know.
Hi, Philip.
Hello.
I see.
Hi,
Hi,
Joe.
Phil.
Steve. So is this it?
Yeah, you're in the
Um,
dark.
Oh, right. Okay.
Not yet. We're giving people a couple more minutes. The only person I heard from that was not attending was Chip, and he has a very good excuse.
Mhm,
Yep.
yeah. I'll get another light so you can see me better.
Good.
So is anybody there live?
Just me.
Yeah.
Just you?
Yeah.
And I was told I have very expensive equipment behind me that I'm not allowed to take. And I don't think I want any of their dispatch material.
Oh, it's still kind of crazy. Like, hmm.
Mm, 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 mm. Let's see, nobody has emailed me.
I may,
Could they be using the incorrect link?
No, usually if they're using the incorrect link, they email me and let me know they can't get
Okay.
on, so that's why I checked my email. Oh, here's Samantha.
again, she's not a member.
No,
Okay, I'm sending an email to the other two.
all right, thanks, Stephen.
Need
I
you
hate
for
starting
a
late.
quorum.
Mm-mm-mm. Do. Yeah, I have my phone and my email. And I haven't gotten anything from other broker, Lauren, so.
Yeah, Brooke and Lauren are the two of them. I just sent them an email.
Okay. I mean, we could definitely discuss things, we just can't,
Take any
Um,
official actions.
right,
However, I'm gonna make a couple of suggestions that we can do as individuals without the task force having to do anything official.
well, we don't wanna hold off this party too much longer.
You're the chairperson, whatever you decide.
Oh, here's Brooke, we have a quorum,
There we go.
yay,
Yay.
hi Brooke,
Hi.
we've been waiting for a quorum, we're gonna get this party started, thank you for
Oh,
joining.
of course, I was just taking an extra second. Sorry.
That's okay.
Always late.
So I'm gonna call this meeting to order at 7:06. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for taking time out of your busy rainy day to be here. So I'm gonna call the meeting to order of the Homelessness Task Force. First up, I'm gonna do some adjustments to the agenda. Does anybody have any adjustments? The first one I'm gonna do is Dawn Little was unable to attend. She is working very she's working very hard on the overflow shelter right now, so she was unable to attend, so I'm just gonna strike her out, as B.
Who is
But do we
this?
have any other adjustments?
Who is this who's working on the warming shelter?
Dawn Little, she's, an outreach. Yeah,
Gotcha.
so she was
Thank you.
unable to attend.
All
Do we
right.
have any other adjustments?
Yes,
Stephen?
I propose after approving the minutes that our first order of official business be discussions of the city manager's proposal for the elimination of this task force
Okay,
and recommended actions.
okay. So, we'll put that in as A.
I also propose that we consider, and it shouldn't take long because it's really good, Philip's proposed letter to go to people asking for donations for sleeping bags.
Thanks. I was gonna do that, but great.
You have to
Okay.
remember, Philip, that I'm compulsively organized.
It's fine with me.
I also am going to propose that I draft a letter of thanks to the Vermont Interfaith Action for their sharing half the cost of the staffing the warming shelter at the library.
Oh, wow.
As a matter of fact, my recommendation, Madam Chair, is you knock off the minutes and the letters because that's going to be quick. And we can leave my concern about making the bus tutoring session. We can leave that and see if we have time at the end. But I really think we need to get to the future of the task force.
Okay, Joe, I haven't put this in any particular order. So I'm gonna do public comment, approval of minutes. We really need to get our minutes approved. The committee, then we're going to go right into the consolidations of committee and recommended actions. Letter on the interfaith action, sleeping bag, and then we'll get into the knit and grit, because I think the consolidating of committees is going to take a while. How's that sound?
That's good.
All right. All right, so, so do we want to have a motion on the agenda
So moved.
and a second?
I'll second it.
All right, can we have a up or down vote? All right. So agenda is moved. Do we have any public comment? We have 2 visitors. Thank you for taking time out to be here.
And
Okay.
Samantha, let me apologize to you because I could have sent you all the various stuff that's been coming across the screen, but I will attempt to summarize it in a way that you'll understand what's happening.
Okay. So I'm.
Yeah,
Samantha,
I'm still not officially on the committee yet. I have sent my, whatever that application was, to the whoever I needed to send it to at the city, so.
Yeah, and it's not gonna happen, and I'll explain why.
Yeah, that is news to me to hear that there's talk of dissolution, so.
Yep.
So we can get to the knit and grit. I'm sorry, just to move along.
No, you're right. You're right.
So did everybody get a chance to read over the minutes that Philip sent out? Thank you so much, Philip, for sending those out.
Oh, sure.
Move
there.
approval of the minutes.
So I'm gonna do a vote call to move the minutes.
Yep.
Okay, Brooke, a second. Philip, a second, or
I'm
yes,
voting.
no, yes or no?
Let's approve them.
Okay. Sorry, I'm in one of those moods. I had coffee before I got here, so I'm a little hyper. I never really drink coffee. So we're gonna pass the minutes. Philip, did you send those along to the city, or should I do that?
Oh, I did that and they are posted.
You're the man.
No, I just want to do it and forget about it. So
Thank you so much. Stephen, I am going to hand you the virtual mic to talk about consolidating of committees.
Before we do that, I suggest that we dispose of the 2 letters we're proposing. I move we approve Philip's letter to outfits for solicitation for donations for sleeping bags.
The sleeping bag letter.
mhm.
That is, did everybody get a chance to read Philip's template? It's short, sweet, to the point. I think we could use as a template. I think it's great.
Okay, so I
And
thought
you can-
initially, I'm gonna say
Yeah,
initially,
and you
Go
can
ahead.
make whatever edits you think are reasonable, typos, whatever, you don't need approval for that.
okay, and I thought initially we should hit local churches and service associations. So start local and let's see what happens.
I personally want to hit Darn Tough up. They're really, for socks. Those socks are amazing and people need warm winter socks.
Okay,
So yeah, let's. The other thing is, if people could send me a list of who they're hitting up, that way we're not duplicating. I will try to keep an organized list. That would be spectacular. Just so we can have a spreadsheet, so, we're not going to the same people and duplicating. Thank you so much.
yeah, and Erica, one thing, so if you do Darn Tough, obviously pull out, say that you're looking for sleeping bags and put in that you're looking for socks.
Yeah,
Just so they, yeah, that personal touch. Okay.
yeah, I have sometimes have that problem. I think we all do, of just when we cut and paste things, we forget to cut and paste other things. Like I have problems sometimes with Zoom links, as you all are aware of. Because I'm on different chairs, and different committees. So yeah, please send me that way. I can say, okay, Philip is hitting this place up. Let's not do that place. Okay. And I will try to be as fast with emails getting back to you, anyway. So I've rambled enough on that. So Stephen, I'm handing you again the virtual mic. Are you ready for this?
No, let's vote in favor of Philip's letter,
Okay.
okay? And now I move approval of me writing a letter thanking Vermont Interfaith for sharing the cost of the morning shelter. And you ain't gonna see it until after it's written and done. You'll have to trust me.
So Stephen, just for clarification, is this going to be written on behalf of us, all of us?
This is a letter coming from the task force, yes.
Okay, I'm in favor of that. Any discussion?
No.
Okay, we'll move that. Any second?
I'll second it.
So vote, yes. All right, it passes. Thank you, Stephen.
I'm taking the mic.
All right, now you take the mic, you take the virtual mic.
Okay. At the November 29th meeting of the council, the city manager proposed reducing the number of committees and task forces in the city by combining some, eliminating others, etc. And we sent the members of this task force the spreadsheet that showed that. And the most recent communication I have from them for clarification is that what would be created would be a new committee, which would handle housing issues, including homelessness. And the committee would be called Housing, Community, and Economic Development. And it would consist of 7 members to be appointed by the council. And that's basically, that's the proposal. Now, there are 2 other groups he thought might contribute members, because I think that's a more accurate statement than merging. He's creating a brand new committee. One is a group of people trying to deal with housing issues in Barry City, which is chaired by David Steichel and Tess Taylor. It is not a city committee, so they might have members on it, who knows. The other is a committee on housing, which was the mayor and 2 councilors, and this was the previous mayor, and 2 councilors. I can't remember if they're both, what their status is now. So in effect, that committee would disappear, or those 3 people, because I don't think the council would anticipate or wanting to be appointing councilors to the various new committees. However, the proposal from the city manager does provide that there shall be liaisons between council and the committees. So I assume 1 council would be assigned to this committee. And that, in a nutshell, is it. Now, my reaction, and obviously I hope the rest of you will chime in, is that this is not a wise move, because homelessness, if it's part of a much larger number of issues, including community and economic development, homelessness shall go homeless. It shall not be a high priority item. And I don't think that the people appointed would necessarily have a strong interest in it. Moreover, there are projects and things this committee has done which are worthwhile and which are moving forward. Example, no other group around is soliciting donations for sleeping bags. And thank you, Philip, because I love that idea. Right?
Well, it wasn't my idea, it was my wife's idea, and I stole it, so.
That's even better. We know that's even better. I am going to propose, as long as this committee is in existence, that my pet project about having sessions educating the homeless on how to use the GMTA bus system become a project of this committee. I would still be the person to carry it out, but by making it a project of this committee, it's another visible thing that this committee is doing. But yeah, obviously going after the money for and getting money for the establishment of the warming shelter at the library happened because Erica picked that up and ran with it. And thank you very much, Erica. So it's obvious to me that this group is accomplishing things, has things to do, and also is connecting with other groups concerned with homelessness. Erica goes to the meetings of the Montpelier Task Force on the Homeless. I'm in communication now with Melissa Battah of Vermont Interfaith Action, and she's interested in having a member of this body serve on that on their housing homeless committee. I have not discussed this with her in any detail. But again, it's another example of things that we are doing, and it's now a political issue. Now, there's one thing about political issues. You're looking at the guy, that's his sandbox. You know, I've been a political consultant for 40 years. I've had a client list. You'd recognize some of the names, including what's his name from Delaware, one of my early ones. Never calls, he never writes. And as individuals, and this includes all of us here, it doesn't just have to be the four of us who are members, start lobbying the council to maintain us as a separate committee. And just go on the website, you'll find the contact information for the counselors. I have two. We all have two. And Samantha doesn't because she lives in Barrytown, and also the mayor. And I think we should start doing that immediately. And that's basically what's proposed, what's happening, and what we might do in response.
Go ahead, Brooke.
I agree with Steve about this. I feel like, because I'm also on the housing committee, and I feel like what they're doing and trying to find potential housing opportunities in Barry is totally different than what we address. Like, we are always talking about food insecurities, how to support the homeless population within the community, like when we talk about like water and different things like bodies and stuff. We are always talking about different solutions and trying to move things forward. And I just feel like blending the two of us, like I don't even know what that would look like. And that's, I don't know. So I kind of vote for staying separate from the housing. And I didn't realize that the All In for Barry homelessness group was still going. So, but I mean, at least that has the same wording, and it sounds like maybe we'd have the same goals. But I think the housing one that meets on Mondays is different because they talk about different, oh no, I forget the word, but like when they, oh shoot, like with
The Creative
properties,
Solutions team.
not that one, but like when they're talking about like one changing like the protocols of like how many people can be in a house.
Development review, the planning commission.
Yes, like, and they're talking about different protocols, and we don't really do that. So I just feel like we are totally separate than them.
Well,
So
and
I'm just-
How
The
come the
housing-
committee you're talking about now was not mentioned in the manager's memo?
Are you talking about the planning commission?
Is that the name of it?
It's the one that you guys said that Dave Sitchell runs.
So that's the All In for
that's
Barry.
the-
That's the All In for Barry housing
That
team.
was-
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm part of that. But I mean, I feel like we do different things.
Yeah, no, that's the All In for Barry housing meeting that came out of the All In for Barry meetings last year. So David runs that. I think you're confused because David was the chair of the planning commission until like 2 months ago.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that they should remain.
We lost you.
We lost Sam.
Well, I think what she was going to say is that she thinks they should remain separate because the All In for Barry thing is more about affordable housing. I mean, that's kind of their mission, is making housing more affordable in Barry with those ADUs or changing zoning so you can put more buildings on a lot. But it's not the same issues that a homeless person has. I mean, you know, there's issues with drugs, there's mental health issues, and that's not what somebody who can't afford an apartment is dealing with. I mean, it could grow into that, but it's a whole different, it's a different ball of wax. It just is.
Sorry, I dropped service there for a second because I'm roaming around the city.
No worries, no worries.
But I'm not sure how much got said before I disappeared, but I think that homelessness and housing are completely separate issues.
We
So-
all seem to agree on that one, yeah.
Right. So I
agree.
don't think it doesn't make sense. The goals are not aligned, and it just doesn't make sense to combine the two.
I just my 2 cents. I work with, I have, there are two, this is totally not really what I want to say, but I kind of, and please excuse me if I say the wrong thing, but and I see 2 types of homeless a lot. There are homeless that do want to be housed, and there are homeless that probably will never be housed because that's not what they want. And when I work with somebody, there's a lot of other things besides housing what's going on in their lives. And when I talk about homelessness, you're also talking about, well, when they're out in the streets, where are they going to go to the bathroom? Where are they going to get transportation? Where are they going to get a shower? Where are they going to do their laundry? And yes, housing is in their purview, but there's a lot of other things going on. And last night when I was at city council, I heard David talk that homelessness was part of the housing priority. But when he was talking about housing, it was, getting a private apartment and this, that, and the other. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, an apartment's great, but no offense to, private landlords, but it's really hard for somebody on a fixed income without, getting all these other things, all their other ducks in a row to have a stable apartment right now. I'm just thinking about the people I work with, and not that I'm trying to say that they're horrible, they're bad people. It's just there's a lot of steps before that's going to happen.
I think that there's a lot of confusion about crisis housing when it comes to homelessness, because if you're not, the All In for Barry housing group, I think, is just completely ignorant to what those issues are. And some of the things that I've brought up to them over the meetings, just because of, that's primarily who we house is the homeless. The things that they're talking about are not even on the radar of the homeless population or the demographic that I serve. So the needs are just completely different. The barriers are completely different, and it's so no, I completely understand your point there.
Mhm.
I agree with both of you. I think you've articulated it very clearly. Joe, I'm sorry, you had your hand.
Oh, I apologize, Joe.
Oh, okay. I'm allowed to speak?
Yes,
Yeah. So I've been thinking about homelessness and crime and mental illness, and all of those things are connected. Housing, affordable housing is a little bit, not a little bit. It's completely not related to the first three things I mentioned. And here's what I want to say, and I don't know if I can say this properly. So when I was growing up, I lived in Rockland County, New York. Well, actually, northern New Jersey. Same thing, near New York City. And there were these institutions. I think here in Vermont, it was called the Waterbury State Hospital. And people with mental health issues were just housed in these facilities. And then when Reagan became president, all those facilities were emptied, and not a thought was given to how to deal with these people. Isn't there a way, with our knowledge now, with the way that we've evolved politically, socially, economically, we've evolved so much since the 40s and 50s and 60s. Isn't there a way we can construct some kind of way to house people who need support, who need help with drugs, with mental issues? And in the process of helping them get that, can't they also be housed like they used to be, and do it in a much better way than it used to be done? I don't know. I have no idea. This is very interesting to me, the listening to you guys talk about this. One of the things I'm going to do real soon, I was born in Germany. I still know how to speak German, and I have brothers in Germany. But the reason I mention that is I wonder how they do it in Europe. I'm not sure, but I would bet a small amount of money that they're doing a better job than we are here. And I'm going to do some research into how the European countries are handling this problem, what their rate of homelessness is compared to ours over here, and what are they doing? What are they doing to help the homeless people? I wish I had done that research before now, but I haven't. That's all I wanted to say. I mean, I'm really, and a friend of mine was going to come to this meeting. She's a therapist. She works for Clara Martin. She works with the homeless, and she works with the mentally ill and the people with drug and alcohol problems. I wish she were here now, because she'd probably have some interesting things to say. And I hope that this homelessness task force stays independent. And I guess thanks for listening.
Thank you, Joe. And I can say there are, just briefly, there are some thoughts of how there can be like a housing first model and some kind of transitional housing, but it's the same argument. Where's the money? Where's the support staff? Blah, blah, blah. And it's not that people haven't thought of, how are we going to do it? Where are we going to put it? Anyway, that's a whole nother bailiwick. We can have coffee sometime. I'll talk to you.
yeah, I think, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I have two thoughts. One is there's obviously a consensus of everybody here that this task force should continue independently. Um, so I've suggested lobbying, which is one thing we should do. We also, as a task force, can make our own formal statement, and it doesn't have to be very long. And I'm willing to draft it. And we can pass it around and vote on it by email. We're not required to have a meeting to fix it. And we just send it to the mayor and the council saying, this is our position and why, and repeat most of the things that have been said here this evening. Starting with homelessness and housingness, and homelessness and the availability of affordable housing are the same as comparing alligators and apricots. We said they're totally different. And then go into the things we've done and say, for these reasons, we humbly request that we be continued as currently constituted with vacancy spending, etc. Joe, you said one thing, uh, and you and I can talk privately, but what you are talking about, I think, becomes more of a state matter. And the speaker has made it clear, the president pro tem has made it clear that that affordable housing is the number one item on the legislative agenda. And now is the time for people like you and others to be getting in there saying, okay, but that has to include consideration of the following and the list of items that you mentioned.
So Stephen, I'm gonna stop you there and I'm gonna ask a procedural question about how voting by email would work.
Same way that voting here does. We put up our hands, we all see how each other is voting.
Okay,
Just send an email. I mean, it's not going to be challenged. Just send an email to the list saying, Steve, that's the worst letter I've ever read. I'm not going to vote in favor of it.
okay. And now would you be drafting that? Oh, sorry, Brooke. Would you be drafting that letter?
In the next 48 hours.
Okay. Brooke, you had a question? I apologize for cutting you off.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm just curious, what was the council's rationale to join all the groups?
Again, it was not the council's rationale.
Oh,
It was the city manager looking at the list of committees and task forces in the city and saying, there are too many. And if you look at that list, he's making a point.
There's a lot.
there is a lot, for sure. I don't know, because it just felt, yeah, it's just something I've been thinking about for the last few days, like how, like we've said, we've presented stuff about the warming shelter, we've talked about all of our ideas, we've shared them like with the council and whatnot. So I was just like, why? So just curious. Thank you.
And if you look at the list that Erica sent out, you can see the whole lay of the land, which ones he's proposing to consolidate, et cetera, et cetera. And as I said, it can't argue with the overall concept, but it's just like we hear the devil is in the details.
No, and some of the committees don't even meet anymore. And, it's just, some of them do make sense and some of them don't. It's just, so.
And look,
There's a lot of
it's
other
a-
ones that make
it's-
sense to combine that don't, like, we've got a garden committee and a cow pasture committee. Why aren't those
Okay.
grouped in with the cemetery and the parks? You know what I mean? Like, there's other ones that
They-
make more sense
They
to
may
join
very
than
they
these
may
ones.
very well be. They may very well be. You can look at it, but I'm not interested in going there. That's not our problem. Okay.
No, right. What I'm saying is that there's other ones that are aligned much more closely than housing and homelessness, like that.
And
like-
and if you look at the list, you will see that that's been considered.
Right.
Okay. Thing is, however, there is a certain amount of politics in play. notice that the manager did not propose touching the diversity and equity committee because that's a time bomb right now and has been, and he's not going to set the bomb off. I'm like, I get it.
Okay,
Then
so,
worry
so
about
we're
this.
gonna, so Philip, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I have two questions. Where would I see a list of the committees that they'd like to combine? Because I didn't get that email.
You didn't. So Stephen,
Well,
would you possibly
yes.
send that?
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
And does
right
anyone know,
after this meeting.
thanks, how the Affordable Housing Committee feels about this? Does anyone? Because it's a whole different mission. I can't imagine they'd want to spend their time talking about this, because I've been to the
If-
meetings. I think Samantha, you've been there too. It's not what they talk about.
Yeah, no, I'm on the committee.
Oh, you're on the committee. Okay. I think
Yeah, oh,
that
yeah.
was where you
And
were.
I am, well,
Now,
So
is
yeah,
this,
that's
is
the
this,
housing.
which,
The
This would
house
be
that
the all in
we
for
we talk
Barry
about
thing.
We have two
all
people
sorts-
talking.
Oh,
I'm a
sorry.
third now. So Samantha, can you go ahead, please?
Oh, I said that group talks about all sorts of different housing. I mean, obviously, there's always a focus on affordable housing, but it's not even necessarily the primary goal. The goal of that group is to figure out solutions for all types of housing, and different options, and plan to kind of whether it's coming up with solutions to present to the planning commission to change some zoning options to make housing easier to build, or changing the ADU laws, or whatever. So that really kind of covers the entire spectrum of housing, income levels and types, and single families and multifamilies and this and that and everything. So that
In
is like
answer-
more broad.
in answer to your question, that group is not a city group. So, and
No,
David,
it's not a city sanctioned
David,
group at all.
let me finish. David provided information to me, which I can pass on about it. But I doubt that that group that you're on is going to end up taking a position on this, because you're not going to be affected directly. Anyway, but that's my guess. I could be wrong.
So,
So
closing up, so do we need a motion on you drafting a letter procedurally?
no, because you'll get a chance. I'll send it out and saying I drafted this for your consideration, and you can respond then. I mean, if
Okay.
you were to vote right now and say no, don't do it, I might do it anyway, just to be contrary.
I know you're gonna do it to be contrary anyway, Stephen, so. So,
Yeah.
moving on, so I think we've got our answer on that. I'm just gonna throw out some updates. So yes, we are, as we heard, we did get the winter sheltering, the warming shelter at the library this year. We did get half of the funding from the Vermont, I must say Vermont Interfaith, that's wrong, the Barry Interfaith. And the city council approved the other half for funding. It was a tough battle. I'm not going to kid y'all, but I am very pleased with the outcome. It'll be starting. I'm not sure when it's going to be starting. To be truth, I wish Lauren was on to help with that, but we are ecstatic, and there is talk about, and this is just talk, that there is going to be put money aside next year, so we do not have to fight for a warming shelter next year. That is just going to be put aside in the library budget for it. And I'm excited about that. We couldn't have asked for a better outcome. There is now an overflow shelter in Montpelier that started Monday. It is unfortunately just a 12-bed overflow, but it's better than nothing. and people are utilizing it. So that tells you something. And that is at the Christ Church in Montpelier. And I do not have a current estimated number of folks on the streets right now. And I don't know if y'all are aware that there has been some homeless days of action that have been going on at the hotels. I have been at the two past ones. There was one today at the Hilltop. There was one at last Wednesday at the Hollow, for folks to come and meet with Capstone, Vermont State Housing, DCF, Enough is Another Way. Trying to think who was there. Family Center, and they have been very well attended. Morris Block Deli has been catering them, and it's been a phenomenal turnout. People are coming not only from the hotels to meet with folks, but people are coming from various of life, and meeting with case managers, meeting with service providers, getting forms filled out, getting questions answered. Yeah, and the food is very, because it's Morris Block and Stefano's awesome. Next Wednesday, we will be at the Econo. It's our last day. It's very bittersweet. And the state of Vermont is funding the whole thing, so it's kind of nice. That's all. Anybody have any questions, any updates? What's been going on?
Eric, I have a question. How do we access the overflow?
Sure, that's a very good question. So the overflow opens at, so if you go to the Montpelier Transit Center, at 8 o'clock, that's when intake starts, and the overflow opens at 8:30.
Thank you.
Not a problem. And I can tell you that food is provided at the transit center, so there is a dinner. And so people can go do intake, get a bite to eat, and then go to the overflow. And we have a very good staff at the overflow. So, and I staff it on Saturday nights. So just saying.
They're lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you. Hopefully that's just temporary. So yeah, any other, I'm trying to think if there's any other updates in the homelessness world.
Me, I do. Well, can I have can I do a
Samantha.
shameless plug?
Please
plug?
do a shameless plug.
Okay, shameless plug. I just finished a beautiful 1-bedroom apartment in East Barry, and I need a tenant. The tenant has to be on coordinated entry, so they've got to be identified as homeless. So preferably somebody quiet, since it's going to be over a restaurant. But yeah, if you have anyone that would be a good fit, please let me know. I'm getting my final occupancy inspection on Monday, so I'm hoping to find somebody in the next few days.
So for your shameless plug, are you looking, it's a 1-bedroom, you said?
It's a 1-bedroom, all utilities included. Rent is $10.25, which is the HUD fair market rent for a 1-bedroom unit. It's in East Barry. Beautiful new apartment, beautiful hardwood floors, huge natural sunlight windows. It is on the 2nd floor, no pets in that unit. Yeah, I don't know that the bus goes to East Barry, but it's right up by the roundabout. It's in the old East Barry Market.
Oh,
Right
I know exactly where you're talking about.
Yep. So it's right on the 2nd floor there. Beautiful apartment though.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can tell you the bus does not go there.
Yeah. And I don't know if there will ever be plans for it to go up there, but
The MTA is discussing expanding in Greater Barry the demand and response component of the bus system, which would mean that eligible people, people on Medicare, uh, disability, could take advantage of that.
right.
But I don't, I don't think those plans are high up on the food chain yet.
No.
But no, Samantha, thank you for telling us about this, because this coordinated entry is really hard to get folks off, so.
Right.
And we had coordinated entry today, which that didn't come up, but I'll email, oh my goodness, the person that runs the coordinated entry meeting and make sure that they know it's available.
Okay.
And then, and go from there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everybody know what, jargon buses, everybody know what coordinated entry is?
I don't.
Okay, so Brooke, can I put you on the spot for coordinated entry?
Sure. So even though I'm on the meeting, but I'm not a case manager. So it's a list of people that are, I hate saying this, but like kind of like graded and like, their numbers of like how many kids they have, their income, like different things that make the need more priority than possibly someone else, like a family of like 2 or 3 versus a single person. And then we have a list, and then we try to pull people from that list and get them connected with the landlords. And we always have to, which Samantha, you just said, get that place inspected, and then there's a lease, and we go from there. Did I sum that up pretty good, Samantha?
Yeah. It's pretty much just a list of homeless or at risk of homelessness. That's it. I mean,
Yeah.
So, yeah,
and people that are more, not just homeless, but, hard to house for some sort of reason. Maybe it's a criminal record or, addiction issues or whatever. So people that are typically listed as hard to house and maybe not accepted by all landlords, typically voucher holders, but not necessarily.
Okay, great. Thank you.
and if you're working in the homelessness world, you try to get folks on that coordinated entry list, because there's a meeting where all the service providers get together. And I actually hate this about coordinated entry, but we talk about that person and what kind of services we can provide for that person.
Okay.
The reason I hate it is because we're talking about the person and they're not there.
Yeah.
But that's me. That's a me thing.
Brooke, I just sent you some photos to share with whoever you need to share the.
I got them. Got my phone right here.
Okay.
So we are coming up on that time. Are there any other loose ends we need to talk about before I let you all go to your various places?
I just sent Samantha and Philip the new and reestablished public bodies committee reset discussion from the manager.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right, so I am going to let you, if there's nothing else pending, I am going to let you all, I'm gonna let class be dismissed. I'm sorry. I obviously need more coffee. No, I am going to wish you all happy holidays and a happy new year. And yeah, thank you for all that you do.
Great. All right.
Thank you, Erica, and same to everyone else too.
Very much. Everyone take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.